everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is a Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. We did the blind Merlot challenge in the last episode, and Washington came in third place, but the two that beat them out are two of the places that I think Merlot expresses itself just as well as Washington, and that's Italy and Bordeaux. So, I wasn't too sad with the results. I'm kind of disappointed in myself for how I did the blind tasting. I totally boofed it, but you know, blind tasting isn't the easiest thing in the world, and I don't know. After the episode was over, I kind of retasted them. I said, how could I not get that? Anyway, now we're moving on to Malbec. Now, Malbec is, of course, originated in southwest France in a place called, in an appellation called Cahors, where it's also known as Co, C-O-T, Co, and what's it called? Azuroy, I think is how you say it. Not sure. Anyway, but it is Malbec. They do it there quite a bit, and it gets kind of a meaty tannic profile there because of the limestone soil that's there. So limestone and Malbec equals meaty tannic wines. In fact, Co or Malbec from Cahors oftentimes needs, quite a bit of aging before you actually drink it. It also is used in France. It's one of the 6 grapes of Bordeaux, although you don't see it that often. In 1956, they had a big freeze that actually wiped out a lot of the vines, so Malbec didn't make a big comeback. Of course, we know the main ones of Bordeaux are Cab Merlot and Cab Franc, sometimes Petit Verdot, but those are the main ones that they use in Bordeaux now. Although Malbec is getting a little bit of a comeback. I've seen it in a couple of Bordeaux varietals or blends. However, it is now known as the iconic grape of Argentina. As most of you know, when you come and shop for Malbec, you often go towards the Argentinian section of the wine department because that's are the Malbecs that you want. Now, in Argentina, it has become very famous, but I think what's happened in Argentina, I talked about this. I did an episode called Malbec Hot, but now not, or something like that. And it actually has fallen off the map just a little bit. I think they oversaturated the market with inexpensive Malbec, and now it's kind of suffered a little bit. Although I still sell Malbec, it doesn't have the thunder it used to have in the store. Now, Washington State has taken on Malbec, and like I've mentioned many times, Washington State does a lot of different varietals very well, and Malbec is one of them. Although one of the things I sense in a lot of Washington State Malbec is this alfalfa aroma that I get on them. But anyway, it's not that off-putting, some more than others. So we have 2 Washington Malbecs and 2 Argentinian Malbecs here in this lineup. My wife bagged these up. I have no idea what order. In fact, I'm not sure if I remember all of them. I know some of them, but that's not the point. The point is we're going to taste them blind and see which one comes out on top. Now, I chose Merlot in my first episode because Washington State does Merlot so well. Now, Malbec is not what Washington is necessarily known for, but they do have some very good Malbec. So let's see how they come out. Will Washington beat out Argentina or vice versa? We're going to find out right now. So we're going to start out with number 1. Oh, take these corks out. As I mentioned before, I changed the corks around so that I can't see what they are. So these are not the original corks. I did this second time I've done this. Kind of cold out here today. We got a little bit of a cold snap for March. But let's get started. Number 1. Number 1 for Rebecca. Showing the bottle. Number 1. Give it a little rinse here. Malbec can be really, especially from Argentina, can be fresh and fruity, or it can be very big, bold, and jammy. Those are 2. And of course, all has to do with the altitude. If they're grown closer to the valley floor, they tend to be a little bit fresh and fruity. If they're grown up in higher altitudes, like let's say Salta, they tend to be a little bit more bigger and bolder wines. So number 1, set that over here. Let's see what we get on the nose. Color is very dark. Now this is very indicative of Malbec. They tend to be very dark in color, and this fits that bill. Hedging towards black, burgundy black, right there. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I like using that board. Thank you, Bob and Kathy. Let's see what we get on the nose. Whoa, sorry. This has a lot of dark fruit elements. I tried to keep these in the same price point. Now that's interesting because, you know, a lot of people go to Argentinian Malbec because it's less expensive. Of course, Washington is going to be more because, first of all, they don't do a lot of it. And secondly, the labor is higher, the cost of land is higher. All of those factor into the price of Malbec, whereas in Argentina, the labor is a little bit less, land's a little bit less, so you get less expensive wines there, especially when it comes to Malbec. But that being said, you don't have to go quite as high in the Argentinian factor. You get the point as you do in Washington. So I tried to keep these in a reasonable price point. On the nose, you get a lot of like plum, blackberry, a lot of dark fruit notes on this one. I don't get any alfalfa, which would indicate to me that maybe number one is from Argentina. Let's hope I do better in this blind tasting. So very dark fruits on this one. Even getting a little bit of licorice and chocolate on this one. Let's see what we get on the palate. Nice dark fruits on this one. I get a little bit of a spiciness on the back end. They like to use oak on Malbec. It responds nicely to oak for aging. Some nice fresh acidity, but it's nicely integrated. I get some plum notes, some dark berry notes on this one. A little bit of chocolate coming through, just a little bit on the backside. Sort of that kind of gourmet, bittersweet chocolate. Really fresh on the finish. Nice balance on this. Well, this is an excellent wine. I think it's an excellent expression of Malbec. Of course, not knowing, I know the price point is up, you know, I think it's between $25 and $35 on these. So I'm grading this. I'm going to wait before I put the appellation or the country this is from. My initial response is Argentina. Could be, maybe let's try number two. Number two. Ooh, this is really dark. Actually, it makes number one look like kind of, go back this way. Wow, this is really black. Yeah, black, dark purple. Yeah, really like it. Okay, let's see what we get on the nose. Same sort of aroma profile. I get some plum, blackberry. Now this has just a hint of alfalfa. It could be Washington State. Definitely blackberry plum. It's kind of a potpourri of blackberry and plum. A little meaty on the nose as well. And some chocolate. Again, that kind of gourmet bittersweet chocolate. Let's see what we get on the palate. Wow. Now this has that alfalfa on it in the palate, but when I say alfalfa, it's very subtle. It has hints of that. I'm thinking this is Washington State. In fact, I'm gonna, I'm stick my neck out. Why not? I screwed up on the last one. Why not? So yeah. This has some really nice balance to it. I mean, you definitely get that plum, blackberry, boysenberry thing going on in the palate. Good balance, good seamless on the palate. The tannins are fairly approachable. Almost polished tannins. They're really slick on the mid palate. And then the finish has just a little bit of a grip on it, just a bit of a tannic grip. Now you've got to remember that Malbec does really good in hotter, warmer weather. That's why it does so good in Argentina, does so well in Argentina. And then, of course, it makes sense in Washington, too, because, you know, over in eastern Washington, it's a desert over there, and they do have some nice hot weather over there, so they're able to ripen the Malbec. If it's really hot, sometimes the Malbec will ripen early. It is an early ripening grape. This has some spice on it. Like I said, it has that alfalfa. I hope I'm nailing this, but you never know. And then a little bit of a licorice. I get a bit of tobacco on this one as well, very slight. Good balance, good acidity. I like this. I like this one a lot. 2 in a row. Good start. There you go. Now, on to number 3. In the Somm, like when they taste professionally in Somm, they give them like 4 minutes per wine. So I try to kind of stick to that. Number 3. You oftentimes, you know, there are little keys that you use in tasting different varietals. Like I said, I'm looking for a little bit of that kind of dried hay alfalfa element on the wine to indicate it's from Washington, but it doesn't always hold true to that. This is, again, very dark, like that second one. The first one was dark. The second one was darker. This one is just slightly lighter. Yeah, this one kind of has a little bit of a, yeah, you can see through the edges, so fresh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go, yeah, hedging towards black, but not quite. You can see through it a little bit. Not as dark as number 2, which was the darkest. Let's see what we get on the nose. Boy, this has a lot of licorice, a little bit of almost a eucalyptus thing going on. Plums. Has a little bit of black raspberry to it as well, which is different than the other 2. Definitely that licorice component and just a touch of chocolate too. Let's see what we get on the palate. Boy, this really hedges toward the tobacco realm. Nice polished tannins. There's a little bit slick like number 2. Nice spice on the backside of this one. Good integration, good balance. This is a delicious Malbec right here. This will be a real crowd pleaser. Has some minerality as well, which is very interesting. I like that minerality on the back end. Good long finish. It's fresh, but it has that kind of guts to it. I like that one a lot too. Now, where is this from? First of all, I'm going to grade it. Not quite as big and bold as number 2. Kind of cross between 1 and 2. Let's do this. And yeah, I'm gonna guess right now. I'll change it on this if this 4th one doesn't throw me for a curve. All right, number 4. Number 4. It's always tricky, you know, kind of coordinating all this. Now this one, this is as black as number 2. Very, very dark on this one. Again, you can see through it a little bit, maybe close to number 3, but yeah, I think between 2 and 3. The color, let's see what we get on the palate. Boy, that has some deep plum and boysenberry notes on it. You're going to get a lot of the same aromas because we're talking Malbec, right? So it's all going to be pretty close to the same no matter where it's from. Licorice is coming through on this one. The number 3 had a lot of tobacco. No alfalfa, so I'm a little thrown off a little bit by this because that alfalfa is really kind of my moniker for deciding whether it's from Washington or not, but not all of them show that. Let's see if we get on the palate. Boy, that's a nice Malbec. I mean, it's super integrated, very seamless across the palate, polished tannins, but good depth of plum and blackberry notes kind of mixed together. Stronger on the plum side with this one. A little kind of green tobacco on the finish. No alfalfa though. And when I say alfalfa, I mean dried, you know what alfalfa. You smell the alfalfa. I used to graze guinea pigs and I always used alfalfa for them, and so it's strong in my mind. This has a long finish. Yeah. This is stupid good. A little bit of that chocolate notes come through. I'm even getting a little bit of a flower note on this one as well. Yeah, solid wine. Yeah. I hope I didn't screw this up as bad as the last one, but guess what? I'm hardly perfect. Hardly. Okay, I stuck my neck out. I'm going to stick with my guesses on this one. Let's line them up. Let's do the reveal. Okay. Ooh. We have a tie. All right. Can't even read my own writing. Okay, there we go. We have a tie for third place, both with a B+. I can't even tell what I wrote on there. We're going to call it a tie. B+, A-, A on this one, and then A+ on number 4. So, tied for third place. We didn't have a, well, you can say last place, but tied for third place with a B+, A-. Number 3, and I guess this was from Argentina. I don't know if I'm right, but we're going to try. Oh, there we go. Wow, at least I got one right? This is a 2022 Kaiken Malbec from Mendoza, Argentina. This rolls in at $22, 14% alcohol. There you go, Kaiken. B+, A-. Good wine. I like Kaiken a lot. I'm glad that came in. I'm glad I tied for third here, because in third place I had Argentina. Tied for third I had Argentina as well with a B+, A-. All great grades, by the way. Let's see what we got here. Oh, wow. That's surprising. This is the 2020 Damsel Cellars Stillwater Creek Vineyard Malbec. So this is Washington. So far 50%. Okay. I like Damsel Cellars a lot. B+, A-, great score. There you go, tied for third. In second place with a straight up A. I really like this wine a lot. I guessed it Washington. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, I see where I messed up. So this is the 2022 Eisenhower Malbec Columbia Valley. This rolls in at $24, and I think the Damsel was $32. So yeah, around there, 32. So the most expensive Damsel, $24. This is a great value, by the way. Eisenhower, 14.3 alcohol, which you'd expect from Washington State. There you go, nice wine, $24. Wow, nice surprise. It's been a while since I've had that one. So I said this was Washington. Obviously, it's from Argentina. I'm batting 500. If I was playing baseball, I'd be in the Hall of Fame, right? So with an A plus from Argentina. I said Washington, but it is Argentina. This is the, ooh, wow, this is cool. 2021 Pascual Toso Reserva Malbec, Argentina. This rolls in at Mendoza, by the way, $28. This one impressed me quite a bit. I like this one a lot, 28 bucks. But I think the best value is probably the Eisenhower at 24. So first and second, first Malbec. So, you know, no surprise that Argentina would come out in first place. But nice showing by Washington, by the way. And Damsel Cellars tied for third. No really, I mean, got such great grades. So Kaiken, you know, great value, $22, $24 for the Eisenhower. Damsel's a little bit more, but, you know, Mary Womack's a great winemaker, and I like her wines quite a bit. So there you have it. The Malbec Challenge. Argentina came out in front, but Washington had a great showing. In fact, the two middle ones, anyway, great showing by Washington State with Malbec. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I believe my next episode is going to be GSMs. I'm just going to do straight up Washington GSMs, not going to be blind. Just going to talk about how well Washington does these GSM blends, which means Grenache, Syrah, Mourvèdre. And they're very popular, by the way. So, don't forget to, tongue-tied, please subscribe to my channel so you can see what's coming up next. Getting more and more subscribers. I really appreciate the support a lot. I really do. Like I said, I'm shooting for 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I hope I reach that. You can help me by subscribing, and you can see what's going on with my channel. Hope you're enjoying these, and give me some ideas. I'm doing the GSM because David Romulo asked me to. He's one of my viewers, and I'm going to do it in the next episode. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.